Where do you live, in London?
Place called Bexhill on the south coast.
We were just in London
yeah.
for Assassins about
Hastings.
3 weeks ago or something.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's good weather, too.
It is very good. It's been marvellous, really.
Right, yeah. I think you said once in an interview that the best Bond is the one you saw first.
Yes, and I still think that.
That's weird, isn't it? I mean, I guess it's true. I had to think about that for a while. I've liked them all, but you know, it's like the first time you see a character, no matter what it is seems to ride that
Well,
way.
exactly. You see, as far as I know, that Fleming never described the character, so that nobody really knew what he was going to be like. I mean, take, you know, Sherlock Holmes. I mean, he has to look like Basil Rathbone, otherwise, I mean, you couldn't have anybody else, could you? And you'll find that all the Sherlock Holmes look alike, when I haven't done that with the Bond. And they've, well, Roger managed to change the character completely and make it a totally different Bond. So did Timothy Dalton. And Piers has done the same thing. I mean, he's not the same as Sean, he's not the same as Roger or Timothy. And I think it's fascinating the way they have sort of taken over the parts and made them their own. And somebody was talking to me the other day who'd seen bits of this film, and they said, in 3 films' time, there'll only be one Bond, and that's Piers.
I think
How
that's
true
true, as
that
long
is.
as you can stay with it, you know,
Yeah.
a while to get that new
Yes.
generation of moviegoers
Yes,
and things
exactly.
like that. That's
Yeah.
the secret. What has Q done for you in your career? I mean, has it been good or bad? Or people think of you only as Q?
Yes, they only think of me as Q. I mean, it's awfully nice to be recognized all over the place, you know, and all that sort of thing. I mean, any actor who says he doesn't like being recognized, well, he's a bloody liar, actually, because there's awful satisfaction in that. And no, I am unique, and it is difficult, because I only have one scene, and so I only get 1 or 2 days' work. And yet, you know, I'm as well known as practically anybody. And well, I'm not saying they shouldn't. I mean, Piers, and I'm not in the same category as Piers, but anyway, sort of other fairly well-known characters, not the stars. I mean, they have cars to go out. I go out in the underground, you see, and of course get recognized right and left.
Yeah, I mean, it is strange. I mean, everybody knows Q.
Yes.
You know, I think Q was more well-known than M, even though Bernard Lee certainly had a big part there, but they knew Q.
Yeah, well, I think that's chiefly because of the gadgets. There's really nothing to do with me. And I think, of course, Guy Hamilton, the director of Goldfinger, who gave me the character of how to play him, because in the first scene, Russia with Love, I just presented the briefcase quite normally. And we were rehearsing Goldfinger, and I'd got my part, and I thought, this is bloody difficult. I don't know how I'm going to do it, because the lines, I mean, it didn't sort of fit in with my idea of the civil servant demonstrating and Bond having all these cracks at me. You know, I thought, well, anyway, it will work out. So at the rehearsal, I was working away at a desk, and Bond came in, and I got up to greet him. And the guy said, no, take no notice of him. I said, what do you mean? He said, I said, sort of, this is James Bond, you know. He said, oh, no, you don't like this man. He treats all your stuff with contempt, and he's jokey, and he's everything that you don't like. And, of course, the penny dropped. And I've managed to keep that ever since.
This is really a dumb question for someone who claims to know a little bit about James Bond movies, but M stands for minister. What does Q stand for?
Quartermaster.
Quartermaster. Military term of quartermaster, because he's the guy who gives out the stuff.
Gives out the stuff. I mean, he's not an inventor.
Is that a well-known? Everybody knows that's Q except for me? I don't think I've...
No, most people don't, because you see, in MI5 or MI6, wherever we are, we don't have, I mean, I'm saying they don't have a Q branch. I shouldn't think they do. They might have during the war. They certainly did have an equivalent person to Q during the war, a man called Fraser Smith. And I've always been told, you know, that I based my character on him, you see, which of course is nonsense, because first of all, in the books there is no Q. And also because of the 30-year secret service, you know, when you are in the Secret Service or government or anything like that, you have to sign a 30-year thing that you don't talk about it. Well, Q, of the real Q, Fraser Smith, he didn't meet me until I'd been in till Octopussy, actually. So I'd been in the films for God knows how long. So there is no connection between the two, except that we both do the same sort of work. We don't invent the stuff, we collect them for whatever's necessary.
You know, in the history of motion pictures, there really has never been a character like yours, in that you're not in it that much, but you are well known. You've been in 15 movies, everything but Dr. No, and what was the other one?
Live and Let Die.
And Live and Let Die. And that's just, I just shake your head, because I can't get up, because you're probably, certainly, so as the one single thread that's gone through all these things.
Yes, yes it is, yeah. I mean, it's bad luck.
You've outlasted Moneypenny. You've outlasted any of these people.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have outlasted Bernard Lee if he'd lived. I think Bernard was wonderful. Not that decrying, I think that Judi Dench is terrific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's good, mean, good old tough lady.
I mean, it's lovely, that sort of performance.
Well, I'm glad I finally got to meet Q Branch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Right.